What happens when a police chief's daughter gets arrested for DUI after hitting a pregnant woman's car and tells the arresting officer, "My dad runs every cop in this city. You're making a career-ending mistake." This 26-year-old is about to learn that when you call your father from the witness stand demanding he fix this, and Judge Frank Caprio puts him on speakerphone in open court, some fathers choose their badge over their blood. In the next 20 minutes, you're going to witness a police chief end his daughter's arrogance and possibly his own career with 3 words. The sentence stands, because sometimes the people who love us most are the ones brave enough to let us fall. Let us know where you're watching from, because what happens next will prove that a police chief's integrity matters more than his daughter's freedom. And that realization will break both of them. December 8th, 2023. 10:00 a.m. Providence Municipal Court sits under winter gray skies, the kind of morning where the cold seeps through courthouse stone and makes everything feel heavy with consequence. Inside courtroom 4, Judge Frank Caprio reviews a case that's already making waves in the Providence Police Department. Case number 2023-TR 13294. State of Rhode Island versus Madison Rose Thornton, DUI with property damage, reckless driving, resisting arrest, and a prosecutor's note that reads, "Defendant is daughter of Chief Michael Thornton, Providence Police Department. Officer body camera shows repeated attempts to invoke father's position. Expect pressure." Madison Thornton enters the courtroom at 10:14 a.m., 14 minutes late, and makes no apology for it. 26 years old, 5'7", wearing designer jeans that cost $400 and a cream cashmere sweater that probably cost twice that. Her long, dark hair is blown out professionally. $200 at a salon yesterday, based on the Instagram story her attorney desperately tried to get her to delete. She carries a Louis Vuitton bag and walks with the specific confidence of someone who's never faced real consequences for anything. But it's her demeanor that fills the courtroom with tension. She checks her iPhone 15 Pro every 30 seconds. She yawns openly during the bailiff's instructions. When told to silence her phone, she rolls her eyes and hands it to her attorney without looking at him, like passing trash to a servant. Her attorney is Robert Chen, 59 years old, a former prosecutor who now defends the children of Providence's elite. He bills $750 per hour and has successfully gotten 3 DUI charges dismissed and 2 reduced to reckless driving in the past year alone. His presence handling a straightforward DUI case signals that this defendant has connections and zero intention of accepting responsibility. Behind Madison sits her mother, Catherine Thornton. 53 years old, perfectly dressed in a navy suit, her expression carefully neutral. She's been a police chief's wife for 22 years. She knows how to maintain composure in public, but her hands are clasped so tightly in her lap that her knuckles are white, notably absent Police Chief Michael Thornton, the man whose name Madison has dropped at every opportunity since her arrest, the man whose position she believes makes her untouchable. He's not here, but he will be, because Judge Caprio is about to make sure of it. 3 weeks ago, on November 17, 2023, at exactly 9:47 p.m., Madison Thornton was driving her white BMW 3 Series, a $47,000 graduation gift from her father 2 years earlier, through downtown Providence. She was heading home from a happy hour at an upscale restaurant where she'd met friends. Security footage from the restaurant shows Madison at the bar from 6:15 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. The bartender's statement, obtained by prosecutors, documents that Madison ordered and consumed 5 vodka sodas over 3 hours and 15 minutes. She paid with her corporate credit card. She works in marketing at a consulting firm her father's college roommate owns. At 9:47 p.m., Madison was driving on Westminster Street, approaching the intersection with Doran Street, posted speed limit 25 miles per hour. Traffic camera analysis shows Madison's BMW traveling at 46 miles per hour, nearly double the limit in a downtown area with heavy pedestrian traffic. The traffic light at the intersection had been red for 4 seconds. Madison didn't slow down. Security footage from the Providence Place Mall parking garage captures everything with devastating clarity. Timestamp: 9:47:23 p.m. Madison's BMW runs the red light at 46 miles per hour. At that exact moment, Sarah Chen is making a legal left turn through the intersection, 32 years old, 7 months pregnant with her first child, driving a 2019 Toyota Camry. She's heading home from her shift as a pediatric nurse at Rhode Island Hospital, where she's worked for 8 years. That evening, she'd stayed late to help a new nurse learn the computer charting system. She's tired. She's looking forward to getting home to her husband. And she has the right of way. Madison's BMW T-bones Sarah's Camry on the driver's side door. The impact spins Sarah's car 90 degrees. The driver's side airbag deploys, slamming into Sarah's pregnant belly. A medical report will later document severe bruising, a minor concussion, whiplash, and, most terrifyingly, early contractions that required emergency hospitalization to prevent premature labor at 29 weeks. Madison's BMW sustains approximately $12,000 in front-end damage, but Madison herself walks away with minor bruises from the airbag. And instead of asking if Sarah is okay, instead of calling 911, Madison's first action is to call someone. Not emergency services, not her insurance company, her father. Officer Daniel Rodriguez arrives at the scene at 9:52 p.m., 5 minutes after impact. His body camera captures Madison sitting in her damaged BMW. On her phone, Sarah Chen is still in her Camry, crying and holding her pregnant belly, telling a witness who stopped to help that she's having contractions. Officer Rodriguez approaches Madison's vehicle. "Ma'am, are you the driver of this BMW?" Madison barely looks up from her phone. "Hold on, I'm talking to my father." She puts the phone on speaker. A male voice comes through. "Madison, are you hurt?" "I'm fine, Dad. Some idiot just hit me. I need you to—" Officer Rodriguez interrupts. "Ma'am, you need to end that call and step out of the vehicle." Madison finally looks at him. "Do you know who my father is?" "Ma'am, step out of the vehicle." "My father is Police Chief Michael Thornton. He's your boss's boss. So maybe you want to think very carefully about how you handle this situation." Officer Rodriguez's body camera captures his response perfectly. "Ma'am, I don't care if your father is the governor. You just ran a red light and T-boned another vehicle. Step out of the car now." Madison's voice rises. "I have my father on the phone. Do you want to tell him you're harassing his daughter?" "I'm not harassing you. I'm conducting an investigation into a traffic accident. Now, step out of the vehicle, or I will remove you." Madison gets out of the car, still holding her phone. "Dad, this officer is being completely unreasonable. Can you talk to him?" The male voice on speakerphone, Chief Thornton, says carefully, "Madison, hang up the phone and cooperate with the officer. We'll talk later." "But Dad—" "Hang up, Madison, now!" Madison ends the call, glaring at Officer Rodriguez. "You just made a career-ending mistake." Officer Rodriguez asks Madison to perform field sobriety tests. She refuses. "I'm not doing your little tests. I know my rights. I want to speak to my attorney." "Ma'am, refusing field sobriety tests creates a presumption of—" "I said no, and when my father hears about this, you're going to regret it." Officer Rodriguez arrests Madison at 10:03 p.m. for DUI, reckless driving, and refusal to submit to sobriety testing. The blood draw administered at the hospital 2 hours later, at 12:17 a.m., shows a BAC of 0.9, just over Rhode Island's legal limit of 0.08, but blood alcohol drops at approximately 0.15 per hour. 2.5 hours earlier, at the time of the accident, medical experts estimate Madison's BAC was between 12 and 14, nearly twice the legal limit. She was drunk. She ran a red light at 46 miles per hour. She hit a pregnant woman's car so hard it caused contractions that could have killed the baby. And then she threatened the responding officer by name-dropping her father at least 7 times in the first 10 minutes. The body camera footage captures Madison being placed in the patrol car. As Officer Rodriguez closes the door, she says loudly, "My father is going to destroy your career. You have no idea who you're messing with." Judge Caprio enters the courtroom. Everyone stands except Madison, who's checking her phone. Her attorney elbows her sharply. She stands slowly, making a show of being inconvenienced. Judge Caprio takes his seat and reviews the file. The courtroom waits in silence. Finally, he removes his glasses, that signature gesture, and looks at Madison. "Ms. Thornton, do you understand the charges against you?" Robert Chen stands before Madison can respond. "Your Honor." Robert Chen for the defense. "My client understands the charges, and we are prepared to enter a plea of not guilty. Furthermore," "Mr. Chen, I asked your client." Judge Caprio's voice is calm but firm. "Ms. Thornton, please answer the question." Madison stands adjusting her cashmere sweater. Your Honor, I understand that I've been charged with something that's completely overblown. This whole situation has been taken out of context, and Ms. Thornton, the question was whether you understand the charges, not whether you agree with them. Do you understand you're charged with DUI, reckless driving, and refusal to submit to field sobriety testing? I understand that's what the officer wrote in his report, but his report is biased because I mentioned my father, and he decided to. Judge Caprio interrupts gently. We'll get to what you mentioned. Right now, I'm asking if you understand the charges themselves. Yes, Your Honor. I understand the charges. I just don't think they're accurate. Thank you. Please be seated. Judge Caprio looks at the prosecutor. Let's review the evidence. The prosecutor, Jennifer Martinez, presents the case methodically. Traffic camera footage showing Madison running the red light at 46 miles per hour. Security footage from the restaurant bar showing Madison consuming multiple drinks over 3 hours. The bartender's statement. Sarah Chen's medical records documenting the impact on her pregnancy. And the body camera footage. All 23 minutes of Madison repeatedly invoking her father's name and position. Throughout the presentation, Madison sits with her arms crossed, occasionally whispering to her attorney. Her expression oscillates between bored and annoyed. When the body camera footage plays and the courtroom hears her say, "My father is Police Chief Michael Thornton. You're making a career-ending mistake," several people in the gallery gasp. Madison's mother closes her eyes. When the footage shows Sarah Chen crying in her car, holding her pregnant belly, Madison checks her phone. Judge Caprio notices. Ms. Thornton, put your phone away. Madison slowly pockets the phone, rolling her eyes. If you're not subscribed, hit that button right now, because what happens next will show you exactly what happens when a police chief's daughter tries to use her father's badge as a shield and discovers that some fathers refuse to be weapons. Judge Caprio signals for Sarah Chen to come forward. Sarah enters from the gallery, 32 years old, 8 months pregnant now, her belly visibly larger than it was 3 weeks ago. She walks slowly to the witness area, one hand on her lower back. Mrs. Chen, Judge Caprio says gently, thank you for being here. I know this is difficult, especially in your condition. Sarah sits carefully. Your Honor, I'm here because Ms. Thornton hit my car so hard that I went into early contractions at 29 weeks. I spent 3 days in the hospital on bed rest with medication to stop the labor. The doctors told me if the contractions hadn't stopped, my baby could have been born 3 months premature. She could have had brain damage, lung problems, or she could have died. Madison whispers something to her attorney. He shakes his head firmly. Sarah continues, her voice steady despite the emotion. I'm a pediatric nurse. I've seen premature babies fight for their lives in the NICU. I've held parents while they make impossible decisions about their children's care. And Ms. Thornton almost made me one of those parents because she was drunk and didn't want to wait for a red light. Mrs. Chen, Robert Chen stands, while we're sympathetic to your experience, there's no definitive proof that my client's vehicle was the sole cause of— Sit down, Mr. Chen. Judge Caprio's voice cuts like steel. Mrs. Chen, please continue. After the accident, while I was sitting in my car having contractions, I could hear Ms. Thornton on her phone. She wasn't asking if I was okay. She was calling her father. She was threatening the police officer. She said the words, "Do you know who my father is?" at least 5 times. And I remember thinking, does she know who I am? Does she care that I'm a person? That my baby is a person? Sarah looks directly at Madison. I don't want revenge, but I need you to understand that your choices almost killed my daughter, and you acted like it was just an inconvenience to your evening. Madison meets Sarah's eyes for perhaps 2 seconds, then looks away. Judge Caprio reviews his notes, then does something that makes the entire courtroom tense. Ms. Thornton, you invoked your father's name and position at least 11 times during your interaction with Officer Rodriguez. You told the officer he was making a career-ending mistake by arresting you. You said your father would destroy his career. Is that accurate? Madison's attorney stands quickly. Your Honor, my client was in shock after the accident. People say things when they're traumatized. Mr. Chen, I asked your client. Madison stands. Your Honor, I was scared. I'd just been in an accident. I wasn't thinking clearly. But you were thinking clearly enough to call your father before calling 911? I wanted to tell him I was okay. On the body camera footage, you didn't say, "Dad, I've been in an accident." You said, "Some idiot just hit me. I need you to fix this." Those were your words. What did you need him to fix? Madison's face flushes. I don't remember exactly what I said. I was upset. Ms. Thornton, have you spoken to your father about this case since your arrest? Of course. He's my father. And did you ask him to use his position to help you? Robert Chen interrupts. Your Honor, conversations between my client and her father are protected, not if they involve attempting to obstruct justice, Mr. Chen. Judge Caprio picks up his phone. Bailiff, I need you to get Police Chief Michael Thornton on the line. Now. The courtroom erupts in murmurs. Madison goes pale. Her mother grips the bench in front of her. Your Honor, this is highly irregular, Robert Chen protests. I must object. Your objection is noted. Your client has repeatedly claimed her father's position would protect her. Let's see if Chief Thornton agrees. The bailiff dials. The phone rings on speaker, the sound filling the silent courtroom. 1 ring, 2 rings, 3. A professional male voice answers. Chief Thornton. Chief, this is Judge Frank Caprio from Providence Municipal Court. I have your daughter Madison in my courtroom on DUI and reckless driving charges. She's repeatedly invoked your name and position as a defense. I thought you should hear this directly. There's a long pause. When Chief Thornton speaks, his voice is strained. Put her on, Your Honor. Judge Caprio gestures to Madison. Ms. Thornton, your father would like to speak with you. Madison approaches the bench, her hands trembling. Dad? I need you to— Madison, stop. Chief Thornton's voice is firm. Did you tell Officer Rodriguez that I would destroy his career? Dad, I was scared and— Answer the question. Did you use my name to try to intimidate a police officer doing his job? Madison's voice becomes desperate. Dad, please. I need you to talk to Judge Caprio. Tell him this is all a misunderstanding. Tell him you'll handle it. You can make this go away. You've done it before. The courtroom goes completely silent. Chief Thornton's voice comes through the speaker, heavy with emotion. What did you just say? I didn't mean— You said done it before. What does that mean, Madison? Madison realizes her mistake. Nothing. I just meant— Madison, have there been other incidents where I used my position to protect you? Her attorney is frantically trying to get her attention, but Madison is falling apart. Dad, please don't do this. Not here. Not now. Answer me. Have I covered up other violations for you? Tears stream down Madison's face. There was a speeding ticket last year, and the parking violations. And that time She stops herself. Keep going, Madison. Dad, please. I said keep going. Madison's voice breaks. The noise complaint at my apartment, the open container citation, the fender bender on the highway that never got reported because the other driver didn't want to deal with police. You fixed all of it. You always fix it. So fix this. The courtroom is dead silent. Madison stands at the bench crying, waiting for her father to rescue her like he always has. The seconds stretch into what feels like minutes. When Chief Thornton finally speaks, his voice is thick with emotion but unwavering. Judge Caprio, are you still there? Yes, Chief. Your Honor, I need to make something absolutely clear to this court, to my daughter, and to every officer in the Providence Police Department who might be listening to this. I am ashamed. I am ashamed that I've enabled my daughter's behavior for years. I've used my position to make her problems disappear. I've taught her that consequences are for other people, and because of that, she drove drunk and nearly killed a pregnant woman and her baby. Madison sobs. Dad, please. No, Madison, no more, please. No more fixing. No more protecting you from yourself. Chief Thornton's voice cracks, but he continues. Judge Caprio, whatever sentence you determine is appropriate, I fully support it. I will not use my position to interfere. I will not make phone calls. I will not pressure officers or prosecutors. My daughter broke the law. She endangered lives. She needs to face the consequences I should have let her face years ago. Furthermore, Chief Thornton continues, I'm announcing today that I'm requesting an internal affairs investigation into my own conduct regarding any cases involving my daughter. If I have obstructed justice or abused my authority, I should face discipline up to and including termination. I cannot lead a police department with integrity while protecting my daughter from the law I've sworn to uphold. Catherine Thornton, Madison's mother, has her face in her hands. The courtroom is absolutely still. Madison grabs the phone on the bench. Dad, you're destroying my life. No, Madison, you destroyed your own life when you got drunk and hit that woman's car. I'm just finally refusing to clean up your mess. I love you, but I can't save you from this, and I won't. The line goes dead. Madison stands frozen, staring at the phone. Then slowly, her legs give out and she sinks to her knees, sobbing uncontrollably. Her attorney and the bailiff help her back to her seat. Judge Caprio gives her a moment to compose herself. When he speaks, his voice is gentle but firm. Ms. Thornton, I'm going to tell you something your father should have told you years ago. Being someone's daughter doesn't make you special. It makes you responsible. Responsible for representing the values they've tried to teach you. Responsible for honoring the sacrifices they've made. Your father just sacrificed his career to teach you a lesson I hope you finally learn. Judge Caprio reviews his notes one final time, then delivers the sentence with measured precision. Madison Rose Thornton, you are hereby convicted of driving under the influence with a blood alcohol content estimated at 0.12 to 0.14 at the time of the accident. You are convicted of reckless driving at 46 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone. You are convicted of refusal to submit to field sobriety testing. For DUI with aggravating circumstances, specifically causing injury to a pregnant woman, you are fined $12,000. Your license is suspended for 4 years. You will serve 90 days in jail, to be served on weekends over the next 18 months. For reckless driving, an additional fine of $5,000. For refusal to submit to testing, an additional fine of $3,000. Total fines, $20,000. Additionally, you will pay $35,000 in restitution to Sarah Chen for medical expenses, lost wages, and ongoing prenatal care costs related to complications from this accident. You will complete 800 hours of community service working with pregnant women in high-risk situations, specifically at Rhode Island Hospital's high-risk obstetrics clinic, where you will help mothers on bed rest, mothers with complications, mothers whose babies are fighting to survive. You will see what Sarah Chen almost became. You will attend DUI victim impact panels twice a month for 2 years, and you will write a formal letter of apology to Sarah Chen, to Officer Rodriguez whom you threatened, and to the Providence Police Department whose reputation you damaged by invoking your father's position. Robert Chen stands. Your Honor, 90 days jail time for a first offense DUI? This isn't a first offense, Mr. Chen. Your client just admitted on the record that there have been multiple violations that her father covered up. This is the first time she's been held accountable. That's different, and the jail time is structured as weekends specifically to allow her to maintain employment while still facing consequences. But, Your Honor, the restitution amount is less than the cost of 1 day in the NICU if Sarah Chen's baby had been born at 29 weeks. Your client's actions could have resulted in hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical costs and a lifetime of complications for that child. $35,000 is generous. Robert Chen sits down. Judge Caprio looks at Madison, who's staring at the floor. Ms. Thornton, do you have anything to say? Madison's voice is barely a whisper. I'm sorry. Who are you apologizing to? To Mrs. Chen, to Officer Rodriguez, to my father, to everyone. Why are you sorry? Madison looks up, tears streaming down her face. Because I almost killed her baby. Because I thought my dad's job meant I didn't have to follow the rules. Because I've been acting like consequences are for other people. Her voice breaks. Because my dad just gave up everything to teach me a lesson I should have learned a long time ago. Judge Caprio nods slowly. Ms. Thornton, you're 26 years old. You're old enough to understand that actions have consequences. You're old enough to know that being drunk behind the wheel of a car makes you a weapon. And you're old enough to take responsibility. Without hiding behind your father's badge. You have 90 days of weekends to think about that. Use them wisely. Madison is taken into custody to begin processing for her weekend jail sentence. As she's let out, she passes Sarah Chen, who's still sitting in the witness area. Madison stops. Mrs. Chen, I'm so sorry. I know that's not enough. But I'm sorry. Sarah looks at her for a long moment. My daughter's going to be born next month, if everything goes well. And every day for the rest of her life, I'm going to remember that she almost didn't make it because you couldn't wait for a red light. I hope you remember that too. Madison nods, crying, and is led away. The video of the hearing goes viral within hours. Not the full proceeding. A clip of Chief Thornton saying, I cannot lead a police department with integrity while protecting my daughter from the law I've sworn to uphold, is shared across law enforcement communities nationwide. By the next day, it has 31 million views. The political and professional fallout is immediate. The Providence Police Department's Internal Affairs Division launches a full investigation into Chief Thornton's handling of cases involving his daughter. They find 3 speeding tickets dismissed without cause, 2 parking violations erased from city records, and 1 unreported accident where the other driver was given $500 in cash and told it would be easier this way. Chief Thornton is suspended for 60 days without pay pending the investigation. He releases a statement. I abused my position to protect my daughter from consequences. I broke the public trust. Whatever disciplinary action the department determines is appropriate, I accept it fully. I failed as a leader and as a father. I'm trying to do better. The police union splits. Half call for his resignation. Half call him a hero for choosing integrity over nepotism. His officers are divided. But one thing is clear. Chief Michael Thornton's career will never be the same. Madison serves her first weekend in jail 3 days after sentencing. She's processed like any other inmate. No special treatment, no phone calls from the chief. Cell block C, shared cell with a woman serving weekends for her second DUI. They don't speak much. Her mother visits once during that first weekend. Catherine Thornton sits across from her daughter in the visiting room and says quietly, "Your father did the right thing. It's going to cost him everything. But he did the right thing. I hope someday you understand that." Madison serves her 90 days over 18 months. Every weekend, Friday night through Sunday afternoon, she loses her job at the consulting firm. They don't want someone who spends weekends in jail. She loses her apartment, can't afford rent without income. She moves back in with her parents. The first month, her father doesn't speak to her. They eat dinner in silence. He goes to bed early. The house feels like a tomb. But Madison starts her community service at Rhode Island Hospital's high-risk obstetrics unit. She works 6 hours every weekday, helping women on bed rest, delivering meals, changing linens, listening to their fears about their babies. She meets women whose pregnancies are complicated by gestational diabetes, preeclampsia, placental abruption. She meets women who've been on strict bed rest for weeks, months, watching monitors that track their baby's heartbeats, praying they make it to viability. 4 months into her service, Madison is delivering lunch to a patient in room 347. The patient is Sarah Chen. 7.5 months pregnant now, on bed rest again after experiencing cramping 2 days earlier. Sarah looks up and recognizes Madison immediately. "Mrs. Chen," Madison says quietly. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were here. I can have someone else." "No," Sarah says. "Stay, please." Madison sets down the lunch tray with shaking hands. Sarah touches her belly gently. "I'm having contractions again. Nothing serious yet. But they want to monitor me for a few days, just to be safe. Because of the accident, my pregnancy is considered high risk now. Every pain makes me wonder if this is it. If my baby is coming too early." "I'm so sorry," Madison whispers. "I know. I can see it in your face every time you walk past my room. You're here every day, working, helping. The nurses say you're good at this." "I'm trying. It's the least I can do." Sarah is quiet for a moment. "My husband wants me to hate you. He thinks I'm too forgiving. But I'm a nurse. I've seen people at their worst and watched them become better. I'm not ready to forgive you, but I'm watching." 3 weeks later, Sarah Chen gives birth to a healthy baby girl at 38 weeks, 8 pounds, 2 ounces. Perfect. She names her Grace. 18 months after sentencing, Madison completes her jail time and her 800 hours of community service. Rhode Island Hospital offers her a paid position as a patient advocate in the obstetrics department. It pays $38,000 a year, a fraction of what she made in marketing. She takes it. Her relationship with her father slowly rebuilds. Chief Thornton returns to duty after his 60-day suspension with a formal reprimand on his record. His reputation is damaged, but not destroyed. Some officers respect him more for choosing integrity. Others never trust him again. He works 2 more years, then retires at 55, earlier than planned, and takes a job teaching ethics at the police academy. He and Madison have dinner together once a week. They don't talk about the trial. They don't talk about the phone call. But slowly, carefully, they rebuild something that looks like mutual respect. 2 years after the accident, Madison attends a hospital fundraiser. Sarah Chen is there with her daughter Grace, now a healthy, giggling 2-year-old. They see each other across the room. Sarah walks over, Grace on her hip. "Madison, this is Grace. Grace, can you say hi?" Grace waves a chubby hand. "Hi," Madison's eyes fill with tears. She's beautiful. She is, and she's here because she was lucky, because the contractions stopped, because she was born healthy despite everything. But she almost wasn't. Sarah pauses. "You understand that now, don't you?" "Yes, every day." "Good. Keep understanding it. Keep helping the mothers here. Keep being someone who learned from the worst thing she ever did." It's not forgiveness, but it's something. Don't forget to subscribe for more courtroom justice stories where entitled defendants learn that a police badge doesn't protect you from consequences. It demands you uphold them. Hit that like button if you believe Chief Thornton made the right choice by refusing to protect his daughter. Drop a comment about whether 90 days of weekend jail was too harsh, too lenient, or exactly right. This courtroom taught us that sometimes the people who love us most are the ones who refuse to save us from ourselves. Because real love isn't about protection, it's about accountability. And sometimes the hardest thing a parent can do is let their child fall so they can finally learn to stand.